And so I'm sure heartbroken right now. I imagine didn't get the result that you were hoping for. But give us the feel right now, the emotion after a battle like that.
Man, I wish I could get one more round. um, yeah, it sucks, man. I keep ending up in this position where like I put my all into getting the finish and to getting the decision, and it just doesn't go my way. Um, I definitely felt like I did more damage in the fight. I knew I lost the third round because I couldn't get up. And I felt bad about kicking her in the face, but I was aiming for the chest. And then the fourth, I kind of didn't go forward enough. I was worried about the takedown a little too much, and then the fifth, I finally said fuck it and went forward and did everything that I should have done in the fourth round, and I still didn't get that fifth round, so it sucks. It was close. I felt like this fight was a lot closer than the Gedalia fight. When it came to just like strikes landed, just because she was landing some push kicks to the face and a couple like side kicks when I was hesitating. So I thought this fight was closer than the last one, but I tried to blitz her. I felt like I did way more damage, and it sucks that I'm on the losing end again. I got to start taking bitches down and hugging them more.
Well, it was definitely an entertaining fight. I mean, obviously the clear fight of the night. You guys got the bonus. But I'm just curious kind of how you feel about this whole experience. I mean, as you said, I know you're disappointed in the result, but obviously the big opportunity, the history that you made, the attention that was given this week. I mean, even though you didn't end the way you wanted, how do you take this whole week?
I was happy I did the interview that I did. I was actually really nervous about it because I know how touchy people are. I know how people who call people snowflakes are very much snowflakes, and they don't like when you say that you're black. And I was really nervous about doing the ESPN interview for Black Lives Matter just because I knew I'd have to stay off social media just to keep a clear head and to stay focused on the fight. But I felt like it was important to do it. It wasn't something I asked to do. They asked me to do it, and I felt like it was important to say yes. And I talked to my mom about it, and I talked to my brother, and I made sure the things that I was saying were things that needed to be said. So it was exciting having all that attention. I definitely am one of more of the like cruising under the radar type people when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was really an emotional roller coaster going through this fight week, and staying focused on the fight, staying focused on the task at hand, and just trying to represent.
Last thing for me, I mean, Dana told us that he views this as a fight with no loser. It sounded like he told you the same thing right over here. So you get a message like that from Dana. Give me an idea where you want to go from here. I mean, what you want to do next. I mean, that was a war. I'm sure. Do you need some time off, or are you still up for short notice fights? I mean, what's the plan?
Well, I'm gonna be flying out to Abu Dhabi, I think, just to do the ESPN stand. So I'll be staying ready out there, and I don't think there's any strawweight fights on those cards, but I'm gonna check just in case. But I think I'm just gonna stay ready, stay grinding in the gym, and I really feel like it's important to start working in takedowns in my game plan, just to switch things up. And I've said it every time I've had a fight like this where it was a close decision loss, or I felt like I got robbed or anything like that. Every time I have a fight like that, I'm like, man, the takedown would have made a world of difference just because of the way MMA scoring is, and I think that's a big thing that I need to sit down and work on. So even if I don't get a fight turned around right away, I think that's just what I'm going to be grinding on is actually doing that instead of just practicing at the gym, actually trying to take people down and ground and pound and stuff like that. Yeah, that'll be my next step.
Angela, to your right. I wonder what you think. You lose these two heartbreaking fights that you could have won either one of them, and you were ranked 13th coming into this one. So this would seem, at least in the title picture, to set you back. And especially at your age, you're not 25, right? So it's a little older, to get that.
I look 25.
I was going to say. But
especially after I got punched in the face.
how tough is that to think that way, or do you have to just ignore that and block that kind of thing out?
It's hard, man. It's really hard. Like immediately after they called her name, I immediately thought I quit. I don't think that anymore. Dana talked me out of it. But it's really disappointing, and I know there's more I can do. I know there's ways that I can switch up my game that I've done in the gym that I just am not as comfortable with in the fight as I am punching people in the face. But I got to switch things up, and this is another hard lesson. 2 hard lessons in a row. Maybe that'll be enough to make me stop being stubborn and start getting uncomfortable.
It seemed to me, Angela, when you came out, you were doing really well early, and then her kicks seemed to give you some trouble. How did you adjust to those, and what was the difficulty that those kicks she was throwing was causing you?
I think it was more the takedown. I got a little nervous about getting in that boxing range because I knew she was going to dip underneath me and try to grab my legs. So I stepped out into her kick range, and that's kind of where she started landing those shots. So I tried to adjust. I just started throwing more in the 5th round and started closing that distance and getting that faith back into my takedown defense because she only got me down once. I felt pretty strong in the clinch against her. It was just that one takedown freaked me out in the 3rd round. So yeah, I think that was really the issue there in the 4th, and I felt like I was able to solve the problem in the 5th, but I just didn't do enough.
Do you, as the fight goes on, are you scoring it yourself, or do you just have a general sense of how it's going on? Do you feel like, okay, I got that round, I lost this one? Do you do that during the fight?
Yeah. I mean, this fight, when the fight's really, really crazy, I guess this was kind of a crazy fight, but when the fight's like really, really crazy, then you don't really know, like if you get rocked or something. This fight, it was easy to keep score. Like I knew 1 and 2, I was mashing her up. I knew 3, she got me down. I knew 4 was close. A lot of times when you have fights go 5 rounds, and the person is still in it, even though they lost the first 2, they'll give the last 2 to the other person just so it's a toss up. And I knew the 4th was close, and I could have done more in the 4th. And so in the 5th, I was like, okay, I have to bring it. And we both said that, and it showed in the fight. And I felt like I edged it out, especially in the last minute of the fight. And unfortunately, I didn't.
Thank you.
When the decision was read out, you obviously acted with a bit of frustration. You were obviously quite upset. Was that because you felt you'd won the fight and they'd got it wrong, or did it just the general feeling of another split decision that could have gone either way that would upset you?
It was a little bit of both. I think it was more frustrating because my last fight ended that way. I think I was less surprised because it was closer than my last fight. But it was kind of like that rollover effect, it's just one disappointment after another. And yeah, I'm surprised I'm not like boo-hooing, but I guess it's nice to be done with it, and nice to get the pat on the back from Dana, and nice to get the Fight Night bonus. Hey, nice to not have my face lumped up too much. So I don't know. I'm frustrated, but I know my next fight I'm just gonna switch it up more. I'm gonna improve more, and yeah, you're gonna see a whole different beast next time.
Is there a feeling, though, in sort of a weird silver lining that, okay, you may have lost 2 fights now, but it could be said that your career's never had so much momentum behind it? You've never had as much attention as you've had now. I mean, you're here doing a post-fight press conference after a main event. So even though you've lost 2, actually, you're probably further ahead than you were before this little run you're on. Did you think about that at all?
Now that you mention it, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I'm so hard on myself. I would much rather be up here talking about my awesome win, and it sucks that I didn't get it. But I am trying to look at the positives and just enjoying. My friends hitting me up saying, "What, you got robbed?" Like, thanks, guys. Wish you were on the stands judging the fight. Yeah, it's not that hard of a blow to hit. Like, it's a blow to my bank account, and it's a blow to my ego. But it's not. I do recognize that the momentum is still there, and it's just little adjustments that I have to make to start just dominating people. And the fight started off really strong. If it was 3 rounds, I think I would have won it, or maybe she would have fought me differently if it was 3 rounds. But I definitely felt like I was winning the beginning of the fight, and I think every judge except for that one thought I was winning the beginning of the fight. So I have to look at the positives and roll that over to the next fight camp.
Well, congratulations on a great performance.
Thank you.
Angie, you mentioned that all the way over. You mentioned that you talked to your mom prior to the ESPN interview. What did your mom say to you?
She said she cried. They sent me the questions that they were going to ask me, and then I just kind of freeform wrote what I was thinking my answers would be to those questions, and I sent it to her, and I sent it to my brother, and my mom really liked my answers. There were a bunch of things I didn't say that I wanted to say, but I felt like that the interview summed it up really well. Just the fact that it's an important movement, and it's something that's affecting everyone right now, and it's something to acknowledge.
You said there were some things you didn't say. Is it because you wanted to be more measured in your response?
No, I just forgot.
Fair enough. So the fight didn't go your way tonight, but you think about the fact that you may have reached out to little black girls who are considering mixed martial arts, or maybe just need some confidence to step out in something that they are interested in. Do you think about that at all?
Yeah, I definitely do. And usually I don't think about it until I meet someone who is excited to see me, and it's a little black girl, and I'm like, oh, it just warms my heart, because I never thought that I'd be doing this, even 10 years ago. I never thought that I'd be doing this. I was a bartender and an animator, so it's a big change in my life, and it's something that I never saw myself doing, and I get so much joy from it, and so much confidence and pride from being a mixed martial artist, and from being as good as I am, and improving, trying to improve every day. But to open that avenue for someone who didn't think before that it was a world that they could be involved with, it's amazing to me, and it really brings joy to my heart, and especially makes times like these a lot easier to deal with, knowing that I'm inspiring people.
You should know then that I have a 6-year-old who's at home wearing her afro tonight, and she's been FaceTiming me all night, saying she couldn't wait for the bad A to come out. So you are touching girls.
Oh, that's
not
amazing.
You are reaching.
Well, I'm reaching. You're not reaching for them. Reaching out to. That's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you for saying that and sharing that.